Welcome to the Healing Mirror, where we travel beyond time into the forgotten worlds that shape the spirit, survival, and evolution of humankind. Today, we step back millions of years into an age where early humans were still learning to stand, think, and fight. In this world, danger stalks from every shadow, and even the most unexpected creatures could decide your fate. This is the story of a young Homo Habilis, armed with little more than instinct, courage, and the will to live, facing a creature so bizarre it feels like a myth. A giant prehistoric bird, towering, merciless, and hungry. What happens when early man meets a monster from nature's forgotten pages? Let's dive into a journey where fear teaches wisdom, survival teaches strength, and every moment reflects a deeper truth about what it means to be human. The sun had not yet broken fully over the horizon when Koro rose from the shallow nest of dried leaves his small clan used as shelter. The air carried a strange mixture of cool mist and the earthy scent of wet grass. Every morning felt the same in this ancient world, quiet at first, as if nature held its breath, and then suddenly alive with sounds that reminded every creature that survival was a full-time responsibility. But on this morning, something deeper tugged at Koro's curiosity. A faint aroma drifting on the windberries, ripe and untouched, drifted from beyond the grove where the clan usually searched for food. It called to him with a strange boldness, as if promising something he could not name. His clan still slept, curled in tight bundles to preserve warmth. Koro was smaller than most of the adults, but sharper, quicker, and more restless. Without a sound, he slipped into the waist-high plants and let the morning light guide him. Each step pressed into the soft soil, leaving shallow footprints that vanished behind him as insects crawled through the trails he made. The world around him hummed. Cicadas buzzed from the treetops, a chorus of distant birds screeched through the canopy, and something large splashed far off near the river, likely a crocodile dragging prey into the deeper water. But such noises were normal to Koro. What caught his attention today was the uneasy silence beneath the sounds, the faint vibration in the ground that made his feet stiffen. He paused, sniffing the air. The berry scent was stronger here, near a patch of tall, yellowish grass swaying gently. The sun finally crept over the horizon, and beams of golden light spilled across the landscape like a fire awakening. Koro crouched low and pushed the grass aside, searching for the berry bushes. Instead, the ground trembled. Just once at first, then again. A rhythm, heavy, slow, intentional. Koro's breath caught in his throat. These were not the footsteps of a grazing creature or the soft pad of a saber-toothed predator. These were different, too deliberate, too weighty. He felt them through his toes, through his legs, all the way into his chest. He backed up instinctively, but his curiosity made him peek above the grass. The grass bent and shifted further ahead, not from the wind, but from something enormous moving through it. A low growler, perhaps it was a deep, throaty hiss, vibrated across the plain. Koro's eyes widened. A shadow rose above the grass heads, tall enough to break the horizon line. Then it stepped out. A giant bird, though calling it a bird was too simple, emerged into the morning light. A creature with long, muscular legs, each claw thick enough to tear bark from a tree. Its feathers were coarse and dark, layered like overlapping plates of armor. Its head was narrow but powerful, ending in a curved beak sharpened by nature to crack bone with ease. Its amber eyes glowed with a cold intelligence, more calculating than a simple animal. The ancient terror bird. Koro had heard the elders grunt warning sounds about such creatures, describing them with gestures tall, deadly, fast. No one in the clan wanted to meet one. Even large predators avoided them. But here it was, only a few steps away, towering above him like a living nightmare pulled from the earliest memories of his kind. The bird's head jerked slightly as it scanned its surroundings. Then it fixed its gaze on Koro. The world seemed to shrink. Every sound faded. Even the wind felt as if it stopped. Koro felt the full weight of being prey. He did not move. Not because he chose not to, because his body refused to obey. His heart thudded wildly against his ribcage. Instinct screamed at him, loud and primal, urging him to run yet warning him that running too soon could trigger the bird's attack. The creature took a single step forward. Its talons crushed a fallen branch, snapping it with ease. Its head tilted, analyzing the small, trembling figure before it. Koro swallowed. His mouth was dry. His mind raced in chaotic bursts: climb a tree, throw a rock, scream for help, drop to the ground, run in zigzags. But something deep within him, older than thought, whispered a different message. Move slowly, move wisely. Don't show weakness, but don't provoke. The balance between survival and panic hung on the thinnest thread. He inched backward, careful not to stumble. The bird's eyes tracked every movement. Its feathers bristled. Then, with shocking speed, it lunged forward. Koro turned and sprinted. The world blurred. The grass whipped against his legs. The ground pounded beneath his feet. Behind him, the thunder of heavy steps grew louder and louder. The creature was fast, much faster than Koro expected. He could almost feel its breath brushing the back of his neck. But Koro did not run blindly. Even in terror, he remembered the layout of the land. A cluster of dense trees stood just ahead, young trees with narrow spaces between them, too tight for a giant bird to squeeze through. His legs burned as he pushed himself harder. The beast shrieked, a piercing sound that cut through the air like a blade. Koro felt the ground shake as it leapt, its beak snapping shut just inches from his shoulder. He dove forward, rolling beneath a low branch and scrambling into the maze of trees. The bird slammed against the trunks behind him, its anger ripping through the forest in a violent chorus of screeches. It clawed at the bark, pacing back and forth, unable to follow him through the tight gaps. Koro darted deeper into the forest until he found a hollowed tree trunk large enough for him to slip inside. He curled up in the darkness, chest heaving, body trembling uncontrollably. Outside, the giant bird circled, its talons scraping the ground in frustration. It pecked at the trees, testing for weakness, then paused to listen. Koro pressed his ear against the inside of the hollow trunk, trying to quiet his breathing. Every instinct begged him not to make a sound. The creature lingered, its shadow crossing the cracks of light in the bark. Minutes stretched like hours as the beast searched, waiting for movement, waiting for a mistake, waiting for another chance to strike. Days passed, but the memory of the giant bird clung to Koro like a shadow that refused to fade. Every rustle of grass, every distant thump of heavy steps, every echoing cry in the forest made his heart jump as if the creature had returned. Yet something had changed inside him. Fear no longer froze his thoughts. Instead, it sharpened them. He found himself studying the world around him with new eyes, seeing patterns he had never noticed before: the way predators circled prey, the places where the wind carried scents most strongly, the paths animals avoided because danger often lurked there. His mind, once scattered and wild like the rest of his clan, was now alert in a different way. The clan gathered every morning near the river to drink, wash, and search for fish that sometimes washed up along the shallow banks. Koro always stayed near the back, watching the edge of the tall grass. On this morning, the sky was a deep blue, and shafts of warm sunlight broke through the canopy, setting the river's surface shimmering brightly. The others were relaxed, unaware of the tension running through his body. Children splashed near the edge while adults knelt with cupped hands, raising cool water to their mouths. Then came the sound, soft, rhythmic, familiar. A tremor traveled through the soil, sliding into Koro's bones. His breath stopped. He knew this vibration, this pulse of power in the earth. His head jerked toward the grassland. There, just beyond the reeds, something tall shifted against the sun. A long shadow glided across the ground, moving with the unmistakable step of the same beast he had fled from. Koro dropped to a crouch and hissed a warning noise, the sharp, urgent kind the clan used only when danger was close. Several adults looked at him, confused. He hissed again, louder this time, pointing toward the moving grass. One of the older males followed his gesture and stiffened, grabbing a long branch lying nearby. Others quickly stepped back from the water. The giant bird slowly emerged from the brush with a terrifying grace, its amber eyes scanning the riverbank. Its beak glinted in the morning light. Every feather along its neck rose and fell with slow, deliberate breaths. It was hunting. And the clan, scattered, unprepared, distracted, was the perfect target. Koro's mind raced, not with fear but with clarity. He had studied the creature from the safety of the trees. He remembered its sluggish turns, the way its enormous body shifted weight before lunging, and the brief blind spot behind its massive shoulder where it could not see without swinging its whole head around. He also knew that raw strength alone could not defeat it. But confusion could, unity could. He made a series of quick clicking sound signals the clan used during hunts. The adults exchanged glances, surprised by his sudden assertiveness, but his urgency made them obey. They followed his gestures as he pointed to the long sticks scattered along the riverbank, sticks they often hardened in the fire pits to use against predators. A few members grabbed stones the size of fists. Others moved quietly into positions without fully understanding the plan. The bird hadn't yet noticed them as threats. It moved along the riverbank, sniffing the air, eyes fixed on the smaller clan members. Its talons sank into the mud with each step, leaving deep impressions that filled quickly with water. Its muscles tensed. It was preparing to strike. Koro gripped a smooth stone, feeling its weight in his palm. He waited. Timing mattered more than anything. Too early and the bird would charge blindly. Too late and one of the younglings would be dead before the adults could react. The bird stepped closer. It leaned forward. Its neck stretched, its jaws opened slightly. Koro stood up and hurled the stone with all the strength in his body. It sliced through the air and struck the side of the creature's beak, not hard enough to injure, but sharp enough to startle. The bird jerked its head sideways and let out an irritated screech. That was the moment. The clan members positioned on the opposite side began stamping their feet and shouting, creating a wall of noise. The bird whipped its head around, confused for a split second. Its eyes darted between Koro's group and the shouting adults. Its brain struggled to decide which threat to chase. Koro shouted again louder, signaling the others to move back. The creature lunged toward the noise. The adults scattered. The bird spun again, snarling in frustration, unable to understand the shifting targets. Koro darted to the side, arms waving. The bird turned toward him. Its chest expanded. Its talons dug deeper into the earth. It was preparing to sprint. But Koro had led it exactly where he wanted. The ground beneath the bird was deceptive, covered with leaves and dirt that hid a natural pit formed years ago from a landslide and later deepened by scavengers digging for roots and shelter. The clan avoided it instinctively because many animals had fallen into it and died, but the bird didn't know. It took a step forward, another step, a third, heavier one that cracked the thin crust of earth. The ground gave way beneath its weight. The creature dropped suddenly, flailing as the soil collapsed. Its massive body slid into the pit, wings thrashing, talons scraping the sides as it tried to regain footing. Mud and loose earth rained down around it as it struggled, screeching in rage and confusion. The clan gathered around the edge of the pit, gripping their sticks tightly. Some raised them, ready to strike, but Koro raised his hand sharply, stopping them. The bird was trapped, but not mortally wounded. It thrashed, snapped, clawed, but it could not climb out. If they attacked recklessly, it could still harm someone. Koro studied it, breathing heavily. The creature's eyes blazed with fury, but beneath that fury was something else: instinct. nature itself teaching predator and prey their roles. Koro recognized the look. He had worn that same expression when he hid inside the hollow tree, trembling. He felt no need for revenge. Defending the clan was enough. The adults looked at him, surprised by his composure. Some of them began to back away, trusting his judgment. Slowly, one by one, the clan stepped back from the pit, giving the wild creature space. The bird continued thrashing, but without the pressure of humans closing in, its movement shifted from attack to escape. It scrambled, clawing higher. The clan retreated further, stepping into the shadow of the trees, watching silently. Koro's heart still pounded, but not from fear. Something else pulsed inside him, a warmth, a strange certainty he had never felt before, something older and deeper than instinct. The realization that he had led them, protected them, and changed something within the clan forever. And as the great bird struggled, climbing inch by inch up the wall of the pit, the clan moved quietly into the forest, leaving it to wrestle free and return to the wild it belonged to, while Koro walked among them with a new fire in his chest, one that would shape the future of their small world.